obviously start off with your regular head base, and then if you want, I don't know, your character looking here and a chin there, face lines like that can help. And then I also like to go in and just block out different shapes and how they're gonna appear. So like this, muzzles especially, I go in and I block it out in squares essentially. There's the underside of the face, nose right there, your mouth's gonna come through about here, and then your eyes are gonna end up being about right there. And then if you got your neck about there. But really it's just blocking it in and figuring out what sides are where. So like that for muzzles if you're struggling. But then it makes it easier to just go in when lining. Don't mind how awful this cheek fluff looks, it's fine. That's what I do, is I just go in and block it out a bit better than I normally would. Because angles are not easy. It's just the little things like that that help out. As for eyes, I have no tips for you there because I still struggle with that too. But yeah, that's how I do that. And then if you shade the underside of faces like I do, I guess fill in like that. But then you've got an angle. Woo! That's about all it is. I can do... Let me shrink this guy down a little bit. If you need to be facing down, like this. And then I tend to block out my muzzle from here. Cheeks pop out there. Just fold the ears back. Maybe they aren't too happy. Who knows? It's just going in and blocking it out more than usual, really. And I don't normally draw the mouth here unless I absolutely need to get across emotion, just because it kind of cuts off there. There's not a whole lot of space to add that. Like, you can, obviously. I just don't. Ear fold. Yeah. I just tend to, I have to go in with my brush and block out the muzzle in terms of squares. Just squares. How do I draw mouths? What emotion do you need? While you're doing that, let me go ahead and we're gonna do a 3/4 angle because this is what I'm used to doing. So if I've got my muzzle here, and let's say the little front, let's block out muscles while we're here. Here's my basic underlying structure. Any kind? Okay. So if I want angry, I tend to move my nose up a bit more and dip it down, and then this muscle here pulls up as well as back here. And obviously there are going to be little creases in the skin from that. This moves up as well. And I tend to pull this up along with this one, so they both go up. And then your lips will peel back more. And then on angry emotions, I tend to show top teeth a lot more than bottom. If I want something sad, I won't. And this one, I see a lot of people do this. your little bottom canines, they fit in here when next to your top canines. Like, they're on the inside, the top canines are on the outside. I see a lot of people draw it where the bottom canines are back here, and that's just not how that works. Another thing that can be nice, I don't know, maybe make your mouth look a little more dimensional, is if you've got curve to it, adding that curve into your teeth. And then I tend to, well, back teeth here, and then I curve up the tongue a lot more. They're kind of raising everything up. So that's how I do snarls or shouts. If they're really sad or just shocked, everything kind of drops. Maybe I'll do like a little bit there, but then you can see here, I don't show the top teeth. Maybe that drags down a bit more. Who knows? And here you would have the eyes play into this a lot more. But we're just doing mouths. Is there anything else? I guess maybe smiles. It depends on what you're doing. I tend to do the same thing here where I'll pull that lip up a bit more. And then we make sure they're nice and wide over there. I tend to curve my teeth in a bit more like that. And then here, you've got that going on. I add the little lip canines. Little detail lines there. This kind of stays the same. Maybe dips down a little more in the middle there. And then this drops down a bit. Just the little things like that. You gotta be aware of muscle movement is really all. Standing moles? Yeah. So, on canines, one of the biggest things is in the faces you need to differentiate because they have a lot longer muzzles. I also like to do my noses a bit different on canines, just so that people have an easier time differentiating. And I do little teeth that point out. Poke out? Poke out. Little stuff like that. But standing, I can move over here for this. So it's essentially the same as a cat where you've got your head up here, and then you want to have, like, your ribs are right there. Your hind leg's gonna connect. I tend to connect it about there and draw it back. On wolves, however, like canines, they're a lot more muscular. Here's my shoulder. Let me shrink this on down. And also my shoulder, because that's a massive shoulder. But they tend to be a bit more muscly. At least in my art, I tend to make them, they've got bigger muscles. They don't have retractable claws, so their claws tend to show, but they're short and pretty dull normally. And then you've got your tail over here, which is also going to be pretty short. And it probably shouldn't be this long. But then I just go in shoulder, more shoulder, bit of muscle here, and then they've got like a curve in their foot. Most animals do about here, so I include it on everything because why not? And then you've got your little foot with your short little dull nails that kind of don't go away ever. Maybe you add detail there, who knows? A little bit of fluff on the neck, because why not? It's just the little things that help out. And they have back nails too. Don't forget your back nails. And then I tend to, right around here, line that partially. Just the little things.